Student organizations are the closest thing that you're ever going to get to real business. The king or the queen in that organization needs to be able to execute, guys. If you can't execute, you're not going to hit the ranks that you are looking for. You're not going to be able to walk away from that experience actually satisfied. Now I'm going to raise the stakes. Why this matters, okay? If you don't have any systems in place, if you don't have the correct vision in place, and if you don't have the correct people in place, you're not going to be able to create something sustainable, and you're probably going to have one or two events that actually satisfy you rather than having consistent growth. Very important. If you don't have a system, your momentum dies. If you don't have a system, your trust in your ecosystem erodes. If you don't have a system, your culture fades, okay? Volunteer settings without consequences are always going to make people ignore commitments. So, you gotta have some sort of consequences. If your personal reason is weak, you will not carry the heavier the leaders, the true leaders of your organization will have. And in the real world, compensation changes the stakes. Money enables the life you want and reduces trivial conflict. You don't have that opportunity in a student organization, but you do have the ability to choose which people are working alongside of you. If you do not build a pipeline and documentation, the mission ends when you leave. It's not sustainable. So, if you want the answers to do any of these things in your organization, keep watching the video. What you stand to lose by not taking these things into account is the operational muscle that translates directly into career growth becomes impact, okay? Your income and your impact in general in your communities will suffer. The chance to build inclusive cultures that actually endure is going to be lost if you don't utilize some of these strategies, or at least the philosophy that's behind them, okay? So, even when I was in elementary school, I spent a lot of time creating games for other people. I didn't realize it at the time, but that was my first understanding of what culture really is. As I moved through, I went to middle school, I moved a lot. I organized hangouts in my apartment complex, right? Took extra work so others felt comfortable. I stuck around far away from my home at their houses so that we could have a place to hang out. Putting myself in situations where I would have to do more work in order to have fun so that other people can be comfortable was the thing that I was aspiring for. Like many of you, I spent most of my time trying to have others like me. Really useful thing to start off with, but not so great to end on. In high school, I led student organizations and I was a public speaker. I loved presenting in English class, initiated clubs, learned that inspiration without structure stalls. I got very excited about the idea, but I never had the context to plan in a sustainable way. Sucks. If you're there, keep watching. Early leadership gaps. Okay, delegation without emotional buy-in fails. Accountability is hard but essential. People do not care about the logical reasons. They care about the emotional reasons why something might matter to them. As a leader, we have to convince people that this matters to them. But we can't convince someone that isn't interested. They need to have some level of interest. We need to understand that interest and capture it in the thing that we want to do, in the place that we want to eventually inhabit. There must be serious repercussions or no one's gonna follow through, guys. Real world continuity. Real world continuity, student organizations skills map to business, guys. Service, delegation, execution, marketing, money. Marketing arguably is the largest, most important part because attention is your greatest asset. You need to have attention first. If you don't have attention, you don't have an audience. If you don't have an audience, you don't have leads. If you don't have leads, you're not gonna make money. Business, student organizations, hand in hand. You might be thinking it's just a club. I can't enforce accountability. Guys, accountability is care in action. Design consequences and uphold them. It's the culture you're setting. There must be serious repercussions for not following through. Because when there is no choice, the actual thing gets done. I didn't have any serious consequences. If the idea inspires people, they will show up. Sure, they'll show up, but they'll show up for one meeting. Happened to me many times. No attention, no team. Treat recurring and storytelling as weekly disciplines, okay? I created a health sciences music club in dental school. And I said to myself, I need to send out an email every single week that excites people. Had I sent out an email every week updating on the things that we were doing and maybe some social media content or maybe some way to get involved or a raffle or something, we would have had way more musicians, and chances are the organization would still be around now. I don't even know what it's doing right now. Delegation will save me. Guess what? Model the standard first. If you can't do it, other people are going to do it in a shittier way. I promise you, you got to model first. Expect to carry most of the load early on. You will be doing the marketing, you will be doing the planning, you will be doing the recruiting, you will be doing everything for the organization. Do not expect your peers to take any of the load. Why? Because they don't want the responsibility. You are the one that's building the me leadership first. You might be thinking everyone learns and works the same. It's not true. That's what school wants you to believe, but you know it's definitely not the case. Design rules around human differences. Okay, everyone is different. If the person that likes to make French fries is cleaning the bathroom, you're gonna have an issue. If the person that likes to create events is the one that is recording the events, you're going to have an issue. If the person that likes to watch the numbers increase and watch the finances is the same person that's doing the marketing, you're going to have issues. You might be thinking it's fine if the student organization ends when I graduate. Actionable steps? Might be thinking, well, Turab, okay, fine. You're right. Okay, my student organization is gonna suck if I don't do these things. Believe me, I did it enough times. You gotta anchor the mission first, guys. This is something that's recurring in the philosophy of Turabify. Write one sentence for the mission and one sentence for what you personally receive for doing the hardest part. Review weekly before the mission statement. Don't create a student organization without a mission statement. Don't create a student organization without some emotional reason for you going through and spending so much freaking time doing that thing. What do you want to get out of it? You're allowed to be a little selfish as a leader. I mean, you're doing the damn work. What do you intend to receive personally from accomplishing these goals? Might be a worthwhile thought before you go and get on that train. Install non-negotiable execution. Publish a weekly checklist with clear owners, deadlines, and consequences. Treat misses as learning moments, not suggestions. If your leadership team says that they're going to do something and they don't do it, and then you teach them and then they don't do it, you need to get rid of them, okay? And I'm going to teach you in a second here how to make sure that even if you get rid of people, your organization still has people. One of the hardest things to learn as a leader is holding others accountable. Collaboration key, but accountability is key, okay? It is a lot like if you are a plane pilot, there are checklists that you need to fill in order for that plane not to crash, right? You're not going to get there in the first 6 months of your student organization, but it's something that you should probably be planning, right? How do I create a social media post? How do I create an email? Now there's software out there like Loom that you can use to create your own little video format so that you can plug that into some sort of orientation packet for a new leader that comes in. Very important. You may not have the time to do it immediately, but it should be high on your list. Keep your pipeline. You gotta keep your pipeline flowing. Your talent pipeline is everything in life, guys. Okay, the people is what make the process interesting. If you don't have people coming into your system, you're kind of screwed, because the instant that a major portion of your system, a major person in your system decides, meh, I don't care about this anymore, you're screwed, because that thing that you spent your time and energy and passion on is just going to crash. You need to have replacements ready to go. How do you do that? You create a system for leveraging people's interest. Right? If there's someone in your student organization that isn't on the leadership board, but they want to take a leadership position, give them the opportunity to build that skill set, that accountability, and actually start working with them before they enter the leadership position so you understand what they're capable of doing. Recruiting every week. Give trial tasks before title. Document who is next for each role. Collaborate with other organizations to go further faster. Why? Because leaders tend to want to be around other leaders. Student organizations are the best place to find your next e-board, because those are the same people that are actually connected to those that have the execution that you need. Your talent pipeline is essential and it should never be empty. You're screwing up as a leader if your talent pipeline is empty. Culture is this thing that you can't really put a finger on. It's the feeling that a group of people evoke. It's the words that this group of people uses. It's the energy with which they pursue a task or with which they combat failure. That's culture. Very, very important thing to instill culture through a systemic lens, okay? You gotta think to yourself, okay, if I want people to be more supportive, maybe I should be the one that consistently says the supportive things to the people in a way that's publicly available so that they feel good about what they did. For each recurring task, record a short screen share that includes the emotional reason and a one-page checklist. Store all links in one living document, include expectations for future leaders. We're installing this. Spend 6 months, maybe a year building this organization. We get a group of people that really gets it, that can actually execute, and then we're like, shit, 2 of them are graduating next year. I need to sit these people down and ask them exactly what they did and document it in a way that the next leader that steps into their position understands what's going on. So important that the writing, the rules, the regulations, every little aspect further the culture you're trying to establish. If you want compassion, if you want camaraderie, if you want transparency, if you want service, right? Build out those core values, write them down, reiterate them. You need to also have core values written down. Okay, they're one word. Use ChatGPT to help you come up with those. Be like, dude, this is my student organization, da 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 da. Ask me some questions and help me come up with the core values. It's like, it's never really been easier to set your vision. It's really way easier than you think now because you have access to infinite intelligence. Use it. The real question is that you should constantly be asking yourself, have I documented these things in a way that people actually want to consume? Perhaps I need to create a video. Perhaps I should create a meme. Whatever it is, the process of teaching people, it should be entertaining to some degree, right? You got to put something in there that's entertaining, right? Some sort of trend that Gen Z, for instance, is witnessing consistently, right? You're allowed to flash memes that make sense. You're allowed to take cultural references that make sense, right? If this video is going out to college students making student organizations, they're probably going to be a couple years younger. Maybe they're you guys. You guys understand what some of these things are, but just think, how do I convey that in an interesting way to someone, okay? If there is a book that you're looking for that will help you think about how to systematize your student organization, look no further than Dan Martell's Buy Back Your Time. That's a book that you're probably going to end up reading multiple times if you intend to be an entrepreneur or some sort of leader in a corporation. Very, very important. Okay. As a leader of an organization, I have realized that I get the most kick and I am the most useful to my people when I am inspired myself. And inspiration runs out, guys. There are things that I do to inspire me constantly, right? I create things, I work out, I watch documentaries, I like nature, I have conversations with friends consistently that are creative, right? But if you don't have that, start off pretty simple. Either get Audible and go the audiobook route, which is so clutch in this generation. I would get the books Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Atomic Habits by James Clear, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. We constantly have to sharpen our axe, okay, as leaders. We constantly have to sharpen our intuition, the way that we think about things, okay? The metaphor goes like this. There were 2 lumberjacks. One cut wood all day. The other took about an hour out of the day to do something else. And inevitably, the one that took that hour away from cutting wood produced more wood every single day. So one of the lumberjacks got pissed. He was like, what the hell, man? I work all the time, right? What's going on that's allowing you to do this much more work even though you're working less technically than me? He told the other lumberjack, dude, I just go and sharpen my axe halfway through the day because I know it gets dull and I'd rather not hit a piece of wood with a dull axe. I know that a sharper axe produces more wood. So if I spend that time, my next 6 to 8 hours are way more productive. Boom. Key takeaway. Sharpen your freaking axe. Guys, your e-board, your student organization's central leadership group, should be, to some degree, people that inspire you and that are intelligent in a way that perhaps you are not, that see your blind spots. The people that you allow yourself to be surrounded by are just as important as the information that you put into your head. College, student organizations are a massive reflection of the actual world. But there are things that are key to understand about this circumstance in your life as opposed to any other. First of all, you're around people that are your own age. And second of all, you have a system where failure is expected, and honestly, there's a lot of guardrails for it. When you fuck up in business, you lose everything. When you mess up a student organization, it's fine. No one's gonna die because of it. Lead with inclusion. Please sustain with structure. Grow through disciplined environments and people who call you to a higher goal. Find your tribe, maintain it, protect it through the culture and the systems that you create. Expect to carry more of the weight. Keep the mission alive by building systems that breathe after you. The systems themselves inform the weight. They inform the mission. The systems themselves are the things that carry the culture. They're the things that imply the mission. It's an art form. Execute with heart and humility, guys. No one's gonna wanna work with you if you're super cutthroat all the time. You gotta have a little bit of compassion. But people are going to respect you if you have standards. Be the person who gets the thing done. Be the person that takes that last 10% and be like, all right, fine, I'll do the damn thing. Putting myself in situations where I would have to do more work so that other people were more comfortable is the very reason that I'm a leader today. Sustainability definitely lends to the creation of systems. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. And if you want some one-on-one coaching, join the Turabify Network. I am more than excited to actually talk with you if you're a leader that's interested in service and sustainability, in building businesses later, in being in leadership positions later on in your life. I want to know who you are just because I selfishly want to have a larger hope in humanity. If you want to have a larger hope in humanity, come and see what tribe I'm building. Perhaps we can build something together. Peace.